Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are in the world. Welcome to this match reaction from the Spurs Southampton game, guys. What's to say, man? Listen, fair enough. Let's start with the good stuff. We beat Southampton. It's a win, an important win leading up to the Europa League game, guys. So it's always good to go with a little bit, with a win behind behind us for sure. In terms of Southampton, relegated, or practically relegated even before the game even started, but obviously that sealed the deal. Johnson, boys. And listen, you know what the funny thing is? So I've read a lot of reviews on a lot of feedback, a lot of people chatting online with, they're really annoyed with Tell for not allowing Brennan Johnson to get his hat-trick. Listen, I can understand both parts. I get all sides of the stories, but for me, guys, look, man, when a striker hasn't scored since he's joined the club and he gets an opportunity to score, he's going to be selfish in that moment. He wants to score his goal. He's not going to be thinking of Brennan Johnson, also because they're only going to be teammates for a few more months. Him and Spurs are only going to be Tell at Spurs is only going to be next few months, and then he'll be going back to Bayern Munich anyway. But in terms of he has that opportunity to score, he just took it. He thought, I'm sod this. And also, in Europe, guys, outside of the Premier League, outside of UK football, there isn't that great big deal about scoring a hat-trick. It really isn't. It's not a big deal when you get, the scoring 3 goals, the match ball, the lot. It isn't that big a deal. The emphasis only here. It only happens in the UK. In Europe, that there isn't a big thing. Of course, scoring 2 goals, 3 goals is always going to be a big thing. But that ain't that. Oh, it's a hat-trick. I get the opportunity to score a hat-trick and keep the match ball. That ain't in Europe. That isn't. It's only here in the UK. So just to balance the argument, that's perhaps why Tell probably looked at Brennan Johnson thinking, hang on a minute, mate, you've scored twice. I haven't scored any. He could be looking at Johnson as being selfish for wanting to score 3 and not allowing his teammates to score 1. But look, there's arguments on both sides. But fundamentally speaking, we don't care. We just wanted the ball at the back of the net. Whoever took the penalty, I'm sure in hindsight, Brennan Johnson will be happy with the brace. And at the end of the day, it's the brace that sank the Saints. In terms of the game, guys, in terms of the 3 points, like I said, a win's a win. It's a good win, and it's always good to win. But fundamentally, for me, the Premier League is done. It's like, I have nothing more to say in terms of the Premier League. What position we end up, it really doesn't matter to me. What matters now for me is the Europa games coming up. It's the only thing that's literally holding us up. So my interest will be in the first leg coming up this Thursday. Of course, the Wolves game in between will be of interest because it's in between the 2 Frankfurt games. If we go through the Frankfurt, if we go through to the next round of the Europa, then my interest remains alive. But if it doesn't, then for me, I couldn't care less what happens for the rest of the remaining Premier League games. I'm going to be truthful. One thing I've always said, guys, I will always be straight and truthful with you. And that's how I honestly feel about it. I'm not going to say to me there's going to be a huge interest in the Premier League at the end of the season, blah, blah, blah. I'll watch it. I always want my team to win. But in terms of interest, I'm talking about, there's not enough meat on the bone for me in terms of the remaining games of the Premier League. Just a case of what will happen in Frankfurt, and it's going to be tough two games. But at this point of the season, what we've got to lose. The good thing I will say regarding today was before the game. What happened before the game changed for Spurs and the fans that turned up in massive numbers. It wasn't just a couple of 100 or 300 like people trying to pass off. It wasn't a huge perhaps at the last time, but it was still very good turnout and loud in voice, and letting the club know what exactly it is that they want. And that will always continue going as far as I'm concerned. So big up to James Spurs, big up for everyone who's in support of that movement in one of the change for Spurs. And change for Spurs, like I've always said, to me means Levy out, Ian out. We need new owners, new CEO, new director of sport, just a complete change of mentality, a complete change of ambition in terms of football. Not just finances. Football ain't just finances. It's an important part of football, but it isn't football. We as fans want to see an ambitious owner with ambitious plans and with a team that challenges. That's all we've ever asked for, a team that challenges and not that's out of everything. Come Christmas it was already out of it, come New Year's it was already out of everything. We want to see a team that fights, and I've not seen any of that this season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment and subscribe, and as always, come on you Spurs.